Prague is a city that listens. Even now, if you walk its streets at night, the stones seem to remember who passed over them centuries ago. In the late 1600s, those stones carried fear as often as they carried footsteps. Fog clung to rooftops, church bells rang through narrow streets, and behind the walls of the Jewish quarter, families learned to live quietly. Silence was safer than laughter. Each night, the gates closed with a heavy sound that echoed through the ghetto like a warning. Inside, candles burned low. Mothers pulled their children close. Fathers listened for trouble in every distant voice. Outside the walls, rumors moved freely.
A child has been taken! Taken! Someone has kidnapped a child!
A child had gone missing. No one knew where the child was. No one knew who was responsible. But by morning, many believed they already had their answer. Old lies rose again, dressed as new truth. The same accusation repeated across generations, sharpened by fear. The Jews of Prague had heard it before, and they knew what followed. Rabbi Judah Loew watched the city from his study window. He had lived long enough to recognize the shape of danger before it arrived. His room was crowded with books, law, philosophy, and ancient texts that spoke of the hidden structure of the world. He believed that words mattered, that letters carried weight, that language itself had once shaped creation. The searches began 2 days later. Imperial officials entered the ghetto with little patience and no kindness. Homes were torn apart, families were questioned, fear filled every room like smoke. The missing child was still nowhere to be found, and the longer the search went on, the closer violence crept. That evening, Rabbi Loew stood before his students in the synagogue. Their faces were pale, their voices quiet. "We have prayed. What more can we do?" The rabbi closed his eyes. He knew the answer. He had known it since the dream. "There are moments," he said slowly, "when waiting becomes another form of harm." That night, he made a choice no human should make lightly. He would create a protector. They went to the river after midnight. The Vltava moved slowly, dark and cold. From its banks, the rabbi and his students gathered clay and shaped it into the form of a man. It was tall and broad, with no expression, no breath. It looked human, but empty, like a body waiting for a soul. They circled it, speaking ancient words. The air felt heavy, as if the world itself were listening. At last, Rabbi Loew knelt and carved letters into the clay forehead. Emet, truth. When he spoke the final sacred name, the clay drew in a breath. The golem opened its eyes. The golem did not speak. It did not question its existence. It simply obeyed. At night, it walked the streets of the ghetto, silent, watchful. When men tried to plant false evidence, the golem stopped them with effortless strength. When danger approached, it stood between the innocent and the threat. Slowly, the accusations faded. The torches remained unlit. Children slept through the night. Laughter returned to the streets. Over time, the golem began to change. It moved faster. Its strength grew careless. Doors cracked beneath its hands. Walls broke when it passed too close. It followed commands, but without judgment, without restraint. One night, whether by forgetfulness or fate, the rabbi failed to deactivate the golem before the Sabbath. Or perhaps the creature had already grown beyond such limits. The protector became a threat. People ran from the very thing that had once saved them. Fear returned, heavier than before. Rabbi Loew felt the full weight of his mistake. He led the golem into the attic of the old new synagogue, where dust floated in pale moonlight. The golem stood before him, powerful and confused, waiting for instruction.
"I made you from truth, but I did not teach you wisdom."
With trembling hands, he reached up and erased the first letter of the word on the golem's forehead. Emet became met. Life became death. The golem collapsed, returning to clay, its strength dissolving into dust and silence. The clay was hidden away, sealed from curious eyes. The danger passed, the city moved on. But legends do not fade as easily as people. Some say the golem still lies in the attic, waiting for a time when it will be needed again. Others say it never existed at all. But Prague remembers,